Hello, everybody. This is Coach Bala here, coming to you on the 30th of January 2023. It's a Monday, but early in the morning on Monday, I had come back from yet another trip late yesterday evening and went to sleep. And then, thanks to jet lag, I'm up early in the morning. So, thought might as well use this time to connect with all of you. I know I'm coming this weekend message a day late. Apologies for that. I was traveling. But let's talk a little bit about what some messages I wanted to give you for this weekend. So first thing is, along with this message, we will be releasing, as I had explained to you in the last message, we will be releasing what we call it as a metrics dash. So metrics dash is really what it is the coach is looking at your first meso cycle, which was a 3-week meso cycle that got over a week earlier, and looking at how you have done through the lens of the 3 key parameters that we are trying to, imbibe in all of you, which is commitment, which is resilience, and then having fun. If all of these 3 things come together, then we see normally a pattern of folks doing every recommended training element. They do everything correctly and on time. So we measure that and we provide you as a feedback. At the end of the day, feedback is a mechanism through which we deliver our training to all of you. And we believe that if you act on those feedback, then you would become better and better runner and hopefully a better and better human being as well. So that's what Metrics Dash is. So the link that we would be giving you shortly along with this message, please click on that. You should be signed in on the website. It's located on our website, a separate page called the Metrics Dash page, where you can choose your coach and your name under that coach, and you will be able to see the metrics for your first meso performance. So we provide you 2 metrics. One is a quantitative metric that essentially provides you a score, a quantitative number that between 1 and 5. 5 is the absolute best. You have not missed anything. And 4 is also great, just that you might have missed a few things. And then it's a 3, and then 2, and then less than 2. So the way you should understand that is anything about 3, 3.5 and above, you are on track. You're doing a great job. Yes, you might have missed a couple of runs, couple of strength workouts. But if you're above 3.5, you are on track. You're doing well. You need to continue to do that and try to see if you can improve the score. That's really what it is. That's the feedback we want to give you. If you're a 5 or a 4.5 and 5, 4.5 and above and say 5, you are literally walking on water. That means you're doing a fantastic job. You have figured out how to prioritize this over other things in life, and you planned your work and your work your plan. That's what it matters. So continue to do that. You are inspiring so many of us. So this meso, it's the first meso. So it'll provide you just 1 meso score. But as you move forward to other mesos, we'll not only provide you what your meso score was, let's say in the second meso, we'll provide you how you performed on second meso, but we'll also provide you a cumulative score that includes meso 1 and meso 2. So let's say if you're a 5 cumulatively at the end of second meso, that means heretofore, whichever weeks that meso represents, let's say if it is meso 2, then the first 6 weeks of training, you have not missed anything. So that's really what this metrics dash is about. So you can imagine at the end of the season, so there will be folks who have done a 5.0 for the entire season. That means they have not missed a single thing for the entire season. And as you probably would have heard and seen, if not, please go and see it. I've had a podcast release last week where I interviewed a couple of runners who have meso not only for the who have a 5.0 not only for the entire season but multiple seasons. That means they have not missed anything for multiple seasons. So there's a lot we can learn from them, those inspiring runners. So that's one metric, quantitative metric. We also provide you a qualitative metric. That means just to give you an idea of like a tweet length feedback on how your meso went. Please go through it. There's always something that you can learn and improve on and focus on. And we ask you to take this feedback in the right spirit and work through it. Now, feedback comes in both ways. So we give you feedback on your runs, and we as coaches expect you to get some feedback from you as well. So till last season, we waited till the end of the season and we created a survey. and where runners will provide their feedback based on their experience for the entire season. And we as coaches collect all of that, anonymize it, especially I anonymize all of it, and create some themes for individual coaches as well as for the entire runners high group. And we try to implement it. And you will see many of the changes that you saw this season is a function of some of the feedback we got. For example, having just one weekend video as opposed to 3 small short video messages was one feedback we got, which made sense. And you see what we're doing right now. So things like that. So help us to be better, be objective, be fair, and give us your feedback. That was what it was till last season. Now this season we want to do something different, keep improving basically, right? So getting those feedback at the end of the week was great, end of the season was great, but then the season is already over. There is no mid-season correction. We can only do it the next season. So why not we do this mid-season, a quick and dirty feedback, something like Uber. Those of you who would have used Uber, you finish a Uber ride, and then before you take on the next ride, you get a small feedback that you need to give, right? A short feedback that you can provide to your driver, and the driver can provide to you. Similar concept we have executed. So when you go to the metrics dash, the link, the first thing is there will be an overlay sheet that asks you for a quick, feedback on how is it going on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of your coach. How is your coach doing? If your coach is doing really good, then are you, like, the question essentially is sort of a net promoter score kind of a question, which is on a scale of 1 to 5. Normally it's 1 to 10, but this time, just to make it simple, we made it 1 to 5. So essential question is, how likely are you to recommend your coach to, say, your friends? Very likely to least likely. That's the rating. So you choose one. So that gives a quick and dirty score. And then we also have an optional qualitative input. If there is something you want to say, tweet length, that will be great. Very well received. That gift will be taken. Feedback is a gift. So we will take that gift with a smiling face and we'll try to act on it. So please provide us the gift of your feedback. And we'll do this every Meso when we release the metrics dash. In that way, we get in-season feedback that we can use to improve on our performance and our delivery to you. And in that way, it becomes a good synergistic sort of relationship between the two of us, runners and the coaches. So that's what it is, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you, as well as please go through the metrics dash. So that's that. In terms of another thing I wanted to talk to you about is this notion of run slow to run fast. So, when you keep running, many coaches will say, hey, that's good, but why don't you slow it down? Slow down, slow down. We ask you to slow down, especially when you're in CP. We ask you to control the heart rate and slow it down. Some of you might be thinking, hey, why are you always asking me to slow down? Isn't this the entire goal, is to be better and actually move faster? Try to get a better race result, better PR, as opposed to, if you ask me to constantly run slow, how will I ever run fast? I'm sure some of you will have those questions. And I wanted to make sure you understand the philosophy and the logic behind we asking you to slow down, especially in your CP runs. So, step back. What are we trying to do here? We are trying to build a very strong base, right? That's really what we're trying to do. And if you have a very strong base, our goal is, come race day, let's say it's a half marathon, 5K, 10K, whatever race, we want to make sure that you finish that race in the shortest time possible. Let's take an example of a half marathon. So we want to make sure that you want to finish the half marathon in, let's say, 2 hours, 30 minutes, shortest time possible. Now, this 2 hours, 30 minutes is the total time that we're shooting for, isn't it? What difference will it make if you rush out of the starting line at full speed, and by mile 10, you're done with everything, you've got all the energy is lost, and the last 3 miles you somehow stutter to get to 2 hours, 30 minutes? How about you start very slowly, and you slowly pick up, and then come the last 3 miles, go hammer on tongs on it, and still finish 2 hours, 30 minutes. There's no difference to these two, isn't it? Both are exactly the same. Our goal is 2 hours, 30 minutes. But what I'm trying to tell you is, If you are able to control the release of your energy in the initial part of your race, the probability of you hitting 2 hours 30 minutes is a lot higher in the second option than in the first option, where you've already, all your juices are done, you don't have much energy left, and you somehow finish it. In fact, that's what people say. Races are made or broken in the last part of the race. The last 3 miles of a half marathon, the last 6 miles of a full marathon, that is when the timing is made of or broken. So if you do really well for the first 10 miles or the first 20 miles and the last 3 or 6 miles and a half for a full marathon, you let it go, then your timing is not going to be good. And I've experienced it myself, guys, multiple times. I've done about 11 full marathons now. And the first 2 or 3 full marathons, I was not very clear about this logic. So when I had the energy, I used to run fast. I used to think, now I have the energy, let me run fast, put some timing on my bank, and I have to get, I will lose energy at some point. At that time, this extra time that I built will help me to sort of buffer it. That was my thought process. But really what happened was, when I ran too fast initially, I got so exhausted, or my body became so exhausted because it was running in the anaerobic zone for quite some time. Cramping and all that started, that instead of running at a slower pace in the last 5-6 miles, I was literally not able to run only. I was literally walking. If you see some of my earlier full marathons, you will see that for the first 10 miles, I was running at a 10-minute mile. 10 to 20, I was running at like a 12-minute mile. And then 20 to 26, I could not do even 20-minute mile. I was just walking, it was just really bad. So overall, it was pretty bad timing as a result. As opposed to running at 11:30 for the first 15 miles and then 11:15 from 15 to 20 miles, and then somehow try to make the 11-minute mile in the last 6 miles, and I was having a fantastic outcome. That's really what we're trying to do. So in the way you understand this, the way you understand this, run slow initially so that you can run fast later overall. The way you understand this is, think about, let us say you're beginning to go for a run. And the aerobic energy is the ability of your heart and lungs to provide you the energy that is needed to power your run. You have a certain amount of aerobic energy. Let's assume that if you can imagine that aerobic energy is filled in this balloon, fully filled balloon. Okay. So whatever is there, the air and energy that is inside the balloon is what is available to you, and you have to use this to sort of, finish the run. Now, when your job is to release the opening of the balloon so that the air is coming out of the balloon for as long as possible, because that's what a marathon is about, right? So you're slowly releasing this air and this energy out of the balloon. So you're constraining the output of the balloon so that you're able to release it. If you just let it go, then the entire air will just come out of it, full speed, it will come out of it, and then after 2 minutes, that's it. There's no air remaining. Or in other words, after a couple of miles, you don't have any energy. So that's not what you want. You want to make sure that you're releasing it in such a way that the air is there for a very long time, and hopefully till the end of the race, the air is there. That's the sort of the picture you want to have. So what you need to do, you need to constrain the output of the balloon in such a way that you constrain it and allow the air to come out. It's flowing as opposed to whoosh, right? And it's coming constant, steady, and for a very long time, or as long as you can go through. That is what you're trying to do in your body. You have all these aerobic energy at the start of the run, and you are purposely trying to control the release of this aerobic energy so that you are able to extend this energy release for as long as possible. And hopefully the time of energy release is longer than the actual time needed for finishing the race. That is what the ideal, right? So that's what we're trying to do. That's why when we see your runs, when we see, let's say you do a 4-mile run, and I see that you have the first mile at a 10-minute, second mile is at 11-minute, third mile is 12-minute, fourth mile is 13 minutes. Let's say that was how you finished the 4 miles. We say that, hey, let's not do that. Try to make your first mile the slowest. When I ask you to make the first mile the slowest, what we are asking you to do is you are controlling the release of your energy in the first mile. so that you can extend the release of this energy for a long period of time. That's really what we're trying to do. So that's why run slow right now, initially. When you run slow initially, your body is in an aerobic zone. That means your body has got excess oxygen. Because it's an excess oxygen, the byproducts of running, the waste products of running, your body has enough time to remove the waste products of running. Because it is able to remove the waste products of running from the muscles, your ability for your body to sustain that activity for a long time is still holds true. Or in other words, there is no cramping and that type of stuff happens. So because you're running slow, your waste products are removed from your body in time, or there is no accumulation of waste products of running. And as a result, you're able to maintain that activity for a longer period of time. And because you're able to maintain that activity for a longer period of time, your overall time for that activity is actually less. Or in other words, you're running faster overall. That's why you run slow to run fast. This is sort of the one way of looking at this, running slow to running fast. The another way of looking at it is over a period of the season. When you start running slow at the beginning of the season, you are also allowing the body to develop in an aerobic zone. So as you develop more and more, every successive run, the definition of running slow is actually going up. What I mean by that is, in the first meso, running slow for you would be in a heart rate that we like. Let's say it is at 14 minutes a mile. In meso 2, running slow would mean 13 minutes a mile. In meso 3, running slow would be at 12 minutes a mile. And maybe by race day, you are at 11 minutes a mile. Or in other words, what you have done is, by constantly focusing on running slow always, the base of slow itself is going up. You know, that is what is running slow now to run fast later comes. If you do not run slow now, the base is not building, because your body is in a state of shock all the time. So it's not actually developing because you're running in anaerobic zone. That's why, guys, this running slow is a very powerful concept even within the race day, from the construct of within the race day that I explained to you, how running slow in the initial miles will help you to sustain the aerobic energy you have, the energy resources you have for the entire run. That's also going to help you for the overall timing. But running slow now, always running slow during the long runs and CP runs, will effectively enhance the pace of your running slow timing. And as a result, you actually get faster over time. That's what I want you all to think about. I hope this makes sense. Think about it next time you are on the CP run. Keep this in mind. So in summary, guys, Metrics Dash will be released shortly. Take a look at it. Please give us the gift of your feedback while accepting our feedback. Let's keep putting that one step forward, keep improving on us, give us the feedback, live feedback. We will work on improving on it as well. And then let's run slow to run fast. Maintain as well as conserve the aerobic energy you have for a long period of time. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the week, and let's keep running.